Hi sophomores, welcome to week 12 of Multimedia Design, and this week we'll be building on from your knowledge from last week. So last week you learned about HTML and you got a chance to code HTML. This week we're going to be coding and learning about CSS. So similar to last week, you will be reading an STS manual, but this time it is going to be all about CSS. So the manual is going to give you a foundation of what CSS is, what it does, how to code it, how to work with it. And remember that CSS is cascading style sheets and it focuses on the design of the website. So how does your website look? You're going to be reading pages 1 through 22. The difference this week is that you're not going to be following along with the manual. I want you to only read the manual. And that is because I want you to take in the information that you're reading about and really understanding it and taking the time to process it in order to be able to apply it. So I don't want you to worry about following along. I just want you to worry about reading it, understanding it, and feeling comfortable with CSS. And the questions for this week's quiz are going to come directly from the manual. So it's really important that you read it because that is how I check to make sure that you're understanding things. So once you read the manual, you fully understand it, then you are ready for your CSS activity prompt. So you will be giving a folder with 4 HTML pages and 1 CSS page, all coming from Kim's website. So that is going to give you her 4 basic pages and her 1 CSS page for the entire website. I want you to focus on the CSS one. I want you to focus on understanding the code, how the code works, why it's written a certain way. And I also want you to focus on understanding how do you link your CSS code to your HTML pages. So say you already finished your coding and you coded all of your entire website, but how do you actually make that design that you created through CSS code show up in your pages, in your website? So that's extremely important this week. So you'll be submitting that in the module as a whole folder, and I'll show you how to do that. Do Sundays your weekly quiz. So you will have a quiz that is going to cover questions from the manual, this video, and the presentation. Make sure you read, make sure you understand content, make sure you're answering questions in your own words. So let's walk through Canvas so that you see and understand what you need to complete for this week. So you have your week 12 video, which you're watching, you have your presentation, then you have your STS CSS manual. Just like last week, you need to be logged in with your Wiz account to access it, and you can either read it right off Canvas or download it. Up to you and what works best for you. And then you have your CSS activity prompt. This activity prompt is going to walk you through all of the steps on how to complete the assignment. So what is CSS? How do you code CSS? How does it work? How to link it? How to write it? So it's going to walk you step by step on how to do all of these things. Right underneath, you will see that there is a how-to CSS page. This how-to page houses videos that are going to walk you through the same things that the activity prompt is walking through. So instead of reading it, I'm actually going to be walking through all of the things in those videos. So step by step, how to complete the assignment, how to walk through CSS, how does CSS work, how to write it, how to link it. Up to you if you work best by seeing it as a lesson or if you will prefer reading it. That's up to you. Just make sure that you do complete the assignment. And underneath, you will see the How to CSS activity presentation, which is what is used during those how-to videos. Then you will see the 2 things that you need to complete the assignment. So you have Kim's website zip. That zip folder will have all of the HTML pages that you need. Then right underneath, you have your style.css. You also need to download that. That is how you're going to be adding the CSS to those 4 HTML pages. And then you have your Kim's website file submission. That is where you will be turning in a folder that houses the HTML pages and the CSS page of a working Kim's website. When you're turning it in, you must submit a zip folder. A zip folder allows you to just compress the information that is in the folder, send it to somebody else so that when they receive it and unlock it, they can see everything in the folder. You must submit a folder that contains everything in there. The images, the fonts, the HTML pages, the CSS. That is how I can run the website and make sure that you have a working website. And last thing for the week will be your week 12 quiz. Make sure you have read, you have understood everything, and you're ready to take the quiz. Once you complete all of those things, you will be done for the week. If you have any questions as you're working through things, feel free to email me and I'll be happy to help. That is it for this week, and I'll see you next week.